Ahoy! Anchored with this, that. Setting sail with the captains of the creator economy. In this episode, we have Natalie Silverstein, Chief Innovation Officer at Collectively, and James Dow, Global Gen AI Creative Director at the Brandtech Group. The topic in this episode is pushing the boundaries in influencer marketing and innovating with Gen AI creatives. What to expect from this episode, explore how influencer marketing is pushing boundaries versus the rest of advertising, how to innovate through leveraging AI, and how to convince brands to adopt these strategies. What's your name, your job title, and company? And please, if you could, summarize what your role looks like.
I'm Natalie Silverstein. I'm the Chief Innovation Officer of Collectively. We're one of the largest influencer marketing agencies in the world, women-founded and led. And my role is really to help the agency and our clients manage through all of the constant change that's happening in the creator space. And I'm responsible for technology and measurement primarily, and also just, again, all of our platform relationships and the ongoing change.
I'm a superstar.
Thanks, Dave.
I am James Dow, and I am the Gen AI Creative Director at Brandtech Group, which is a new role here. Just begun that journey. We do better, faster, cheaper within the group as our kind of key concept. I think this is about elevating better, using generative AI to lift the creative standards. It's not a one-button technology. It's about getting in, understanding the tools, connecting with creators, trying to make the best work, and inspiring brands to take the leap into the space and feel confident that they're going to be doing great work and not work that's going to get them in hot water.
How is influencer pushing boundaries versus the rest of advertising?
I think that influencer is really pushing the boundaries of advertising because of the scale and breadth of experimentation that's happening. Mm-hmm. There's just so much content being made.
Yeah.
And again, basically everything is a test.
Yeah.
And so I think that there's just kind of immeasurable amounts of really cool stuff that's happening. Whereas in, I think, traditional advertising, it's slower.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's something I'm seeing for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It feels like we're in terms of the kind of creator economy, like that really early days where there's just lots and lots of stuff and there aren't niches yet. I was thinking yesterday that Gen AI creators aren't like doing veganuary yet. And do you know what I mean? It hasn't got into like the niches when you really need to stand out and be part of the conversation. It's very much about their craft and about their creativity. And it's a very nascent community. You know, I follow and engage in lots of that, especially on X. There's a great platform there where people are sharing things in the open. I think that's a really nice aspect of this. I think the creator economy is, within Gen AI especially, is a very open one. There's a lot of sharing techniques, a lot of hashtag build in the open, which I think is a really nice kind of perspective to have. Yeah, it's a nice fresh place, especially as a creative when it's, I think lots of the trade is about this superstar ideas person, this black box creative world. I think like build in the open is a nice kind of phrase I like, emerging from this audience.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I think also just in general, kind of not just the Gen AI creators that are really emerging, that I know we're collaborating on quite a bit and kind of identifying those people, but more broadly, what the creator economy and creator branded content have done is really just kind of like blow open like kind of the stranglehold that brands have on their brand.
Yeah.
They really have to give it over to creators to interpret themselves. And you know, I think that that's been challenging for certain marketing leaders that have been kind of set in their ways about what a brand means. And I think a brand in 2024 really has to be, you know, kind of almost co-created with your audience and with the creative community. So I think that the influencer marketing or creator marketing is really helping to kind of shape a new definition of brand. Yeah,
that's such a great point. You know, working in fragrance and working at Burberry in the past, looking at Chanel No. 5, you go into Pinterest and there are thousands of homemade fan images of the bottle. Just illustrations, drawings, photos. And, you know, I think when you look at Gen AI, there's now millions of Nike Air Max that people are going in, they're designing their own shoes, designing their own tops, and thinking about your brand much more as an open platform for people to play in and experiment. I think if people like your brand, they're going to use these tools to do what they want anyway. So if you can open up, connect with those people and have them as your ambassadors, I think you're going to have a lot more success in the next 5 years for sure.
Your work focuses on innovating within the industry. How do you convince brands of your proposed strategies?
Yeah, it's a great question. Convincing brands is it's always about people, right? So I'm going to have one-to-one relationships with the people that are looking for great work. And some of them are in the place for this work. Some of them are ready. I'm sure you find that with the creator economy. Some are ready and often they come to you. So you're already halfway through the door. We have a huge sort of first of its kind Gen AI assistant that we're building at the moment for a client. And our client is just very future forward, very positive, very optimistic, wants to take some risks with the brand and, try to innovate and be interesting, try to provide something new for consumers, to have fun, to make it enjoyable, as you say. So I think it's an uphill battle if someone's not ready. But luckily, the position that we're in, clients are often talking to us because they want to do something fresh, something inspirational and innovative. So yeah, much of the work's kind of done from our perspective in the Brandtech group, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as a subsidiary of the Brandtech group, collectively as a part of the Brandtech group, we collaborate quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And something that I think from a creator, really just kind of focus on the creator side of things as we're going into kind of more ambitious pitches. We really focus on making sure our creative is really original, but also data-driven. Yeah. So that we have the insights to back it up. We have 11 years of creator marketing campaigns behind us and have seen kind of the ebbs and flows of various things. So we really see that as being important. Yeah. We also focus on making sure that there's a very clear measurement framework for all of our programs that the clients are aligned with, and so they can feel confident that as we're beginning the campaign, we can see very quickly whether something is working or not. Yeah. And we know what kind of these moments are in a program to be able to shift gears. Yeah. So that kind of gives them a little bit more confidence that they can take a risk and they know that we can make a quick turn if we need to.
Do they enjoy that pivot? Are they kind of on board with being able to just let's switch?
Definitely. And I think having to, I think the positioning an ambitious, totally new thing as all right, you're signing up for this and there's no turning back. Yeah. Just in terms of a way of collaborating. Yeah. Is not going to work. We see that really being agile is so important.
Yeah, and I think you've set them up for that, haven't you? Yeah.
Exactly. And I think kind of along with that then is also just a client services approach that's very much in a partnership. Yeah. So if we're pitching something really ambitious, it's because it's going to be a reflection of conversations that we've had with the clients already in a way, or we would have picked up on, okay, what are you interested in? What's the major impact that you're trying to make? But we really make sure that it comes back to deep collaboration and partnership. That's just a big part of our client services.
Yeah, absolutely. I second that. No surprises.
Yeah. Or fun surprises, not shocking surprises. Yeah. So, yeah.
Who is an industry change maker to you in the creator economy?
I think a marketing industry change maker can be defined as someone who is kind of rooted in what has a lot of deep knowledge about how core fundamental human psychology of works and the kind of fundamentals of advertising and persuasion. They understand all of that, but they're willing to kind of break the rules to try new things, and they're really optimistic about what's possible, and are kind of just on the edge and aren't afraid of being on the edge. Yeah. So some of the people that come to mind, number one is our chairman, David Jones. So not to tout my own boss essentially, but I do believe that he is a visionary. He has started investing in generative AI starting in 2015. So that's definitely ahead of the curve. And I think building our organization to be completely tuned to be able to catch this moment and really lead has been pretty amazing. I also have another person I can call. I'm sure you have some people too. But,
no, please,
go
ahead.
So we've had a client at Dove who's incredible. Her name is Firdaus El-Honsali. She's a wonderful, wonderful leader, visionary. She really led Dove through kind of a big social and creator transformation for the last 9 years, and is so committed to having a very clear purpose and a compass that allows, those constraints allow us to be really creative, and who we're partnering with, how we're partnering with them. It provides grounding, to have a clear purpose and a set of values, and being really, really steady in that and knowing when to say no. So I think she's been an amazing kind of demonstrator of that.
Yeah, great. Really nice examples. How would I define a change maker? There's so many ways in. That's a really nice example. It's someone who kind of knows the work and is still optimistic, and I feel like I'd like to fit into that category if I could self-own a category. But then in my head, the radical other side of that is someone who isn't in marketing, who is experimenting at home. I'm thinking of people that haven't even arrived yet, who are picking these tools up in towns and cities across the world that perhaps don't have any marketing experience at all, and are doing something through creative passion, and have kind of stumbled upon something because they're interesting, and much like a songwriter sits down and starts to generate ideas and put songs on YouTube and start to make something. I think change makers in marketing, certainly people who are going to make things enjoyable and fun for the next kind of 5 years, I think, are people that don't know what marketing is. I remember when I started, I sort of had no idea about what I was going to do. I was a young designer, and you kind of find your way swimming upstream trying to work out exactly how everything works. I think the people that are just going to make the memes that you're going to see over the next year in AI, they're going to suddenly realize they found something magical. And I think, much like many creators before, they will be approached by people like us who will say, this is great, you're amazing, let's do more of this stuff, and let's enable you to do more and give you a platform. So yeah, I guess, the flip side is, those people that we don't know yet, I think. The surprising ones.
Yeah, I think the partnership between those two. So it's like these veterans who kind of like really understand the business and understand, kind of like how to guide it, partnered with these emerging creators or, established creators who just like don't live and breathe advertising, let's say, but know how to connect with people. I think that's like a really magic. I mean, I think that's what we've seen in the most successful creator marketing campaigns to date. It's like really smart people on the brand side and on the agency side, putting their heads together about what's possible, and then finding these folks who are not technically marketers doing amazing work. So I love that.
I wish I could just drop her name now and say, watch next year at the Palais. They'll be there.
Soon to be. Well, we're kind of cooking up an interesting. We're working on that. We're cooking up a project where we're identifying and really shining a big spotlight on some of the most amazing creators who are mastering the new tools of generative AI and really raising the ambition of what's possible in your content feed. Not replacing existing creators by any means, but rather kind of elevating what's possible.
Yeah,
quite
content. The opposite, isn't it? It's finding those people that are experimenting and excelling in what they do, technically, creatively, and importantly, getting traction of their own, right? People are vibing off it, and then they're interested, and they're getting great following and good feedback, and they're part of this building the open kind of community. Our goal in this new program is to spotlight them, but also show that it isn't just creative work. And lots of people can use AI to make beautiful creative work, but when you look into marketing and you think about brand positioning and messaging and trying to reach audiences and conveying a message that needs to be designed into something, that's a whole other skill set. And it's a lot harder to land that, because you're being asked to land something in a particular way for a particular person. Combining those two things to make the next generation of creator content in advertising is a really interesting challenge.
How are you making marketing more enjoyable?
I think that collectively is making marketing more enjoyable, and in some ways, me personally, by really advocating for content that is first and foremost entertaining, and second can be informative and can be inspiring, can be connecting for people, but it's gotta flow in the feed, and it's gotta make people stop and watch. And that's the most important thing.
Absolutely. then kind of again sort of the spin on that one, if I'm thinking about part of my role as educating and empowering many of the employees at the group, so not just getting great work, inspirational work outside into the public and getting people to kind of look towards us and look towards creators, is make it enjoyable for people that don't know that much about it. So I recently did a learning session for the group, so anyone can kind of join and discover the amazing ways that Gen AI is evolving, and I'm sharing prompts and tutorials and ways for people to have fun with it. We are kind of putting aside, there's talk of putting aside some time during the summer with Oliver, one of the group companies, to do an exciting kind of self-discovery in Gen AI. So yeah, just inspiring people to get involved. I think pick up the tools, have fun. It is incredibly fun. Last night, after our group dinner, we were laughing about kind of some of the music tools that are out at the moment. And Drew, who's the partner of Brandtech Consulting, and we were sort of sat for about an hour with some rosé and just like making ridiculous tunes about Can and writing lyrics. And that, having a bit of fun with it is kind of where you want to start. You don't want to start with a brief or with some sort of KPIs. You want to get your hands on the tools, just be a child again. I think that's one thing that you can always rely on me to do, at least. Be the child in the room.
Yeah,
pick up the Lego and make a new shape.
Yeah, totally. I think that's just generally, like, if it's not, I always think, like, just as a leader of a company, I mean, life is short. If we're not having a good time, it doesn't feel like a positive, optimistic, kind of like filled with opportunity kind of a space, like, why do it,
And now, time for a game and a chance to get to know our guests on a bit more of a personal level. It's time for a series of this or that questions.
Okay, James,
all right.
This or that?
This,
which is this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite recent influencer campaign that you did not create?
Yes, good question. So it's not that recent, but it's something that is particularly has resonance with me, having a young daughter. All of the work around This Girl Can, especially the influencer stuff, encouraging young girls to get into sport and have confidence and to be loud and strong and, unashamedly interested in physical activity. Of any age. They did such a great job of having such a diverse and interesting group of women, outdoor swimmers, boxers, football players, and as someone with a very sort of physical 4-year-old, it's the kind of campaign that in the past I would have just gone by, but now has particular pertinence for me.
Got it. Girl dad style.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Shall I do mine now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
This or that, Natalie?
I'll do that.
That. If you were to become a creator tomorrow, what vertical would you talk about?
Okay.
You can't talk about influencer marketing.
No, I can't talk about influencer marketing. Okay. I think I would talk about food.
Nice.
It's like kind of a boring hobby, but I do cook. I do enjoy cooking.
Yeah. What's your dish?
My dish? Oh, I have many dishes.
Yeah.
But I would say I'm really good at salads. Really good at making vegetables good. So I'd probably do that. I have a friend who's a big food influencer, and she her main thing is salads. I don't want to bite her style, but I would say that's probably what I would do.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
This or that, James?
Yeah. So I'm going to be that now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. What did you want to be as a kid?
I wanted to draw. I loved drawing and making things. I used to make stuff with my dad and do gardening, and I wanted to be outdoors and making stuff, which is very much not what I'm doing now. I'm making things.
Still making.
But now I like to get into my garden. So that's kind of my past coming back. So yeah, creating anything, drawing was one of the things. I used to draw a lot of trainers, actually. I was inspired by my brother, who was kind of a bit of a sneaker freak. And I just sort of sit and draw his, so maybe a trainer designer. Sneakers, yeah.
Not too late.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna go with this.
What is your hidden talent?
Let's see. I think the thing that I'm surprised no one else can do, but I can, is in a sea of faces of people, I can immediately spot a celebrity. Like in incognito celebrity, I just have like facial recognition software in my brain and I can like pick them out. So if I met you once, I'll probably remember you and say hello on the street.
Oh, that's good. Is there an example of where you've kind of spotted a famous person?
Always. Every time I go to New York City.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Fish in a barrel
Constantly.
there, isn't it?
Yeah. Airports. I mean, on the Crossette this week, so many influencers that we've worked with, you know, kind of like on the DL, like not
sunglasses.
Being, yeah. Always see them. Or like people I worked with 10 years ago that wouldn't remember me, but I remember them. So it's actually celebrities. Celebrities.
AI facial recognition.
Yeah, basically. But it's always surprising to other people. And I just like, it's so obvious to me. Like, can't you see that?
I love it. You should work for the CIA or
I know,
something
right?
instead.
It's like, change my career to be a spy.
Yeah.
I could do that. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe you already are.
I don't know, James.